What's going on, everybody? This is Scott, and welcome back to another video with, technically speaking, I guess this is a live show. And you'll notice a bit of an empty spot right here. Can you feel it with me? My heart's breaking. Tonight I'm going to be running this show solo. I suppose I could sit in like the middle, and I can't do it. My homie's not here. I don't really know what to do with myself without Greg here and his glorious, glorious beard. So on tonight's show, it's probably not going to go nearly as long as I normally do, but the reason why Greg is not here on the live show tonight is, Greg has a fairly large beard, and so I know he probably wouldn't want me to tell you this, but with his large beard, he has a tremendous amount of body hair. So with the body hair, he's trying to get that lasered off. So he's trying to get that taken care of. So I think what we should do is, you can see right now it says ominous hominid right at the bottom of the screen in the lower thirds. We need to let him know on Twitter that we're thinking of him on the live show tonight. Make sure that he gets all that hair lasered off. It's not a big deal. You can use the hashtag that's right here, technically speaking live, hashtag technically speaking live, and go ahead and just tag him in it. Ominous hominid, right there at the bottom. You can see it on the screen. Let him know that you're sending your thoughts, prayers to him. Again, he's on the Twitters. That's the only thing he ever really does. So again, a lot of body hair. The beard's really kind of taking care of itself. So let him know about it. I'm going to go ahead and kick off.
Hang on.
What?
Hang on. First of all, what are you telling these people?
I said you had a great beard.
Yo, I don't buy that one for a second.
Hi, friend.
Hi, everybody. Surprise, I actually made it.
How was your appointment?
What?
How was your appointment?
What appointment?
I mean, the appointment.
I actually have no idea what you're talking about.
The appointment?
Like for real.
Well, some folks have got sending some thoughts and prayers towards you for your appointment. It's okay. I get it. You don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
I get it. I totally understand.
Am I missing something? Like for real?
No, the appointment. It's fine.
I have a feeling that I'm going to have to just go back and rewatch the show at the very beginning.
Yeah,
because I'm sure you threw me under the bus.
Let's be real. You ain't watching that show again.
I've not watched a single one.
Hi, friend. How are you?
Hey. What's going on, buddy?
All right. Okay, now we can officially...
That was real, man. This is literally how we...
I haven't seen him all week. True story.
Week. I have been holed up in my basement for the entire week.
Playing games.
I wish. Holy crap, I wish.
You were getting something...
I was studying for an exam. I was taking a training course. For those of you Linux nerds that are out there, I think there's at least one person that watches our show that actually is a Linuxy related nerd. So I'm studying for this exam called the Red Hat Certified Engineer, and it sucks, man. It is not fun. It is.
I'm not that technical. I have absolutely
brutal.
I wear a red hat sometimes.
I have one. I got me a red hat.
You talking about a red hat? All right, so let's pause there. And hey, this is going to be fancy.
Yeah.
I am really stoked. Here we go.
Oh, sweet. I didn't even miss that. Yeah.
Bazinga!
Today's video is sponsored by our friends at Sketchcase. Unleash your creativity and turn your laptop into a
SHS Audio
portable
Department does
whiteboard with
podcasts and
Sketchcase.
audio
This isn't your ordinary laptop
voiceover
skin. You
work,
can use
music
dry,
production
wet, or
and
even
music
permanent
licensing,
markers on it. Whether you're a
multimedia
student,
services, and
designer,
creative
developer,
consulting.
engineer,
Visit
or
them at
entrepreneur, you're going to love using Sketchcase. Check them out today at sketchcase.com.
SHS Audio Department also does a really awesome podcast, which comes out weekly, called the Vulgar Parenting Podcast, which is hosted by my guy, Scotty Boombox. It features his crew of My President and Your President Miller and life coach Choops. Catch everything that the Vulgar Parenting Podcast does at vulgarparenting.com. Make sure you give them that 5-star review on iTunes. When you give that 5-star review on iTunes, they will read it no matter what it says. Again, visit them at vulgarparenting.com. So
you being all professional.
You should have just heard 2 commercials. Well, I guess it would be commercials.
We'll see.
Sponsorships. So, my friend Charles at Sketchcase, and our friend Charles at Sketchcase, and our friends at SHS Audio Department, they thankfully sponsor our show, so we like to give them the plugs.
Sketchcase.
Sketchcase is sweet. That's what I got on right now.
I
Bam!
wanted to have mine actually set up since I got one last week, and I still have not been able to do that because I've literally been holed up in my basement the whole time. So.
Bananas.
So,
on today's show, we're going to talk about, as soon as I can get to what I was going to talk about, we got the giveaway that kicks off or ends in 24 minutes. If you have not entered into our Double audio for your commercial. No! I'll fix it. I just got a text message that said double audio.
Tech show.
We'll figure it out. Well, the problem is I have to go live to try to test it. And I was running out of time because I thought I was going to be solo.
Surprise!
I was like,
you can't get rid of me.
I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. So I just threw those together and I'll figure it out. Anyway, giveaway that's in 23 minutes, 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you haven't entered in for the Super Nintendo Classic, which is actually right here, you canto see it. We will do a live giveaway on the air.
So awesome.
I bet it is.
I think last week's show I talked to you a little bit about this on the Super Nintendo Classic. There's some tools that came out that lets you kind of do some more custom things with your Super Nintendo Classic. So I have been playing like the little bit of spare time that I had in between class sessions. I would take like a half-hour break and fire up the old Super Nintendo and play some custom games that were not included in the launch titles that were on there. It's awesome.
It's so
might
weird
be one of my favorite.
That you're going to class.
I know, isn't it weird?
That's so weird. So weird. Also, we're going to talk about Equifax again. Because yet again, they screwed up, and they actually had their contract suspended, so that leads me to believe that maybe it could be reinstated. But they got suspended for the dumbest reason. Well, as if the other reason wasn't dumb enough.
This is like just pure negligence, though.
So you know what I mean? Like, well, that's my thing is it's if it's pure negligent. Negligent? Sure, let's go with that.
Picking up what you're putting down.
Well, what happened? What happened was, what about everything else? Are they worse about something else? Anyway.
More than likely. I mean, real talk, security's hard.
Right.
But we'll get there.
Then we're going to talk about the freaky cool and hella weird. There's an Alzheimer's drug out on the market that helps regrow your teeth.
Alzheimer's? Teeth.
Don't know how that happens.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yep, I don't get it.
I would have put those two together.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
Google programming their own software to teach itself to program. Prepare your anus for your robot overlords.
Inception. Let's go deeper.
We're programming to program. Prepare your anus. iPhone X.
I heard you like programming, so we programmed your program to program.
We're going to talk about iPhone X, and there's a problem with the developers not developing their apps to be the full screen of iPhone.
I got some stuff to throw out there about that one.
Good or bad?
Comments.
Okay. And then this is a quick one. I don't want to talk about it, but those folks that do follow that use Google Photos. Today, that was like right hot off the press, Google confirmed, actually I should say Android police confirmed with Google that all the photos taken with the original Pixel, where they had the whole, if you take a photo with your Google Pixel, it's uploaded free quality forever. They said that all the photos that you have taken with your Google Pixel will be grandfathered for life in the original quality. So any photo that you take with this bad boy will be grandfathered in for life in its original state.
That's a big deal because for them to walk back on people that were early Pixel adopters and not get grandfathered in, that would be a business lose for Google, I think. Like a major business lose.
I agree. So I think today's show is going to be a little bit strange, not normal, because obviously we haven't had a chance to talk about it a lot.
Well, on top of that, like I have not seen the topics at all. Like you reading it off is basically the first that I've heard of the topics. So it's going to be hot takes all around.
So I know that we have somebody mentioned something about wireless.
Yeah, Jane want to know if are wireless earphone beanies junk or okay. This is all you.
I'm talking about wireless. I'm assuming when you say wireless earphone beanies, you literally mean like beanies, the hat that you put on, and wireless inside of that. My guess, I have never tried it. My guess is it's going to be dependent upon the brand, and it's a real good likelihood that it's probably not going to be good. They're going to be wireless in the tradition, in the sense of there's probably a wire that connects between the two. Yeah. They're not the true wireless that you would see with like AirPods.
They're Bluetooth.
They're Bluetooth, yeah. So you would see that. So my guess is you're going to get almost no seal at all on your actual ears. So the folks, or whatever you're listening to, the folks around you, they're going to hear that music. So depending on what you play, that might be a problem. But if you're really cold and you want to wear a hat and you don't like the
I guess that's one way to do it, right?
I mean, that's one way to do it. So it really would depend. There's some of them get really good reviews. Not really my cup of tea because I like showing off my hair.
You're
just gonna blow right past that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You had your beard coiffed recently.
I did.
I can tell.
And my hair.
Yeah. So you were gonna make fun of my hair?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Suck it. It's aggressive show tonight.
Suck it, Trebek.
Suck it, Trebek. Suck it long and suck it hard.
So the other thing, too, is, like, keep in mind you get what you pay for when it comes to products. So if you're looking at wireless headphones, so I just happened to look up on Amazon, wireless Bluetooth beanie hat cap with music phone, speaker phone, stereo headphone, headset, earphone, speaker, mic.
They have a lot of opportunity in that headline.
Wow.
They were trying to...
They're murdering SEO.
That's what they're trying to get. Let's just shove all the words in for SEO at all.
Wow.
I get what they're doing, though.
But so they're listed for $40. So keep in mind, like, if you had a $40 pair of headphones, those are probably not very good headphones. They might be okay, but they're not going to be like amazing headphones. So if you're combining headphones and a hat, plus you figure whoever's manufacturing it's got to make a little bit of money on top of that. You know, just start to do the logic in your head and ask yourself whether or not you think that those are quality.
My guess is you're probably looking at the actual quality perspective. It's probably about $20 headphones. You're probably looking at
I don't even think that much.
Well, think about it. You got like a $5 to $10 markup on the hat, like on the actual fabric of the hat. So you got a $5 to $10 hat, probably
$10 tops.
$20. I would say $20 tops, and then a $10. Well, no, you're probably right. Because then they got to do the logistics, and then they got to make their profit. So probably somewhere in the vicinity of $15 headphones. So not the best quality. You're not going to get a lot of bass, would be my guess, and it's probably going to be
battery life is probably going to be atrocious.
Probably going to be extremely tingy. Yeah. So there's just not going to be any depth with that. But again, if that doesn't matter, then
define your use case. You know what I mean? Because like if you're not after, like I have a pair of cheap. They're not truly wireless headphones, but they're like sport wireless headphones, right? But they cost me like $20. Like I'm not expecting good quality out of it because that's not the use case that I'm after. If I'm after good quality sound, I'm going to spend the money on good quality headphones. So mine fit a very specific niche, and same thing with this beanie hat thing. Like if you need a hat and you want to be able to listen to music and not have extra headphones jammed in your ear, personally, I don't think that it's worth it. Like I would just wear, like I'm an Android guy, right? But I would still use my Apple ear pods, not the AirPods, because I'm not baller like that. I don't have that kind of money laying around, sir. Anyway, I would just use like regular headphones in mine. And oh god!
I probably destroyed that audio.
I pooped a little bit. I was not expecting that one.
By the way, a little quick update. Where we got about 16 minutes before our giveaway, we have 82 potential contestants. So
wow, that's awesome.
82, which is great. Which is also great for you folks that are out there. I did a little quick math. 1 divided by 82 is 1.21%.
Wow.
So you have a 1.21%, significantly better than the lotto. Significantly,
better than the first one we did too. The Google Home one, we had like thousands of entries.
Oh no, I mean we have lots of entries. We have 5,900 entries, but I gave a lot of points.
Oh, okay.
I did a points based. I was like, okay, why not?
Whatevs.
And the thing is this we will be launching another giveaway after this one, not today. But next week. So we'll be launching yet again another giveaway. It will be for some phone cases from my guys at Minimal, MNML, and you can find them on Amazon. So they are fabulous.
They really are.
Okay.
I love their cases too. That's one of the rare things that we actually agree on. Well,
it's nice being right, isn't it?
Don't oversell
yourself. Suck it long and suck it on. We are just giving it away. Let's talk about Equifax and being stupid. Equifax finally had their $7 million contract not revoked.
Canceled?
Suspended.
Oh, okay. So
suspended. It's suspended based on quote-unquote new findings. The exact quote, if I can find it in my copious amount of everything open, it was temporarily suspended that it was, quote, the new information that was recently discovered was what finally got them to be suspended. Not the 148 million records.
Right.
No, that wasn't it. It was the fact.
Next thing.
It was the malware site. Yeah. It was the thing that they accidentally screwed up again.
So in a little bit of defense of Equifax, it wasn't directly Equifax that had this problem. It was another third-party vendor that they were doing business with that had basically left. I don't think they figured out whether or not it was a web server that was left unpatched, or whether or not they had accidentally linked to an incorrect site, which then allowed their site to be compromised, so on and so forth. But yeah, short version is, if you were trying to get out to the Equifax website, they could they would feed you bad Flash, and Flash is notorious for being just a giant security loophole.
Yeah, so I can't believe that they're using the term suspended. I have a problem with that. It should be canceled. It should be anything other than suspended, revoked, terminated.
Well, I mean, this is like just another item on the giant list of how is this, like, in, not to get like too esoteric and political or anything like that, but like, how is it that we have these systems set up where like we are tax-paying members of society, and we have no say in which companies get our data? Like, okay, I get that like our society basically runs on the idea of credit and stuff like that, but seriously, Equifax, like we have to deal with them. We don't have a choice. We can't just say, hey, I'll deal with you other two schmucks. Or three schmucks.
It's interesting that you bring that up. I was in meetings this week. Now, this is, you don't know. Like, I was in meetings this week.
Yeah, I do not know this at all.
With this week, and the company that we work for, I have I work in the area where they talk about information risk management. This has been a hot topic for weeks at this point.
Yeah.
They have their ears to the ground for everything, and some of the friends that I have over in that department have said this actually is really close to ending the company of Equifax.
Yeah.
Completely. Like, there is no more Equifax, so it doesn't, like, we won't be doing business with Equifax anymore because there will be no Equifax. Honestly, it will be gone. It will be TransUnion, and then whatever the other one, Experian, and there's
a third one that's a smaller player.
Yeah, and that smaller player could come up. Yeah. But the thing is, they're saying that Equifax could be completely done as a company.
I mean, so for the people working at Equifax, that's like the people that has nothing to do with this at all.
Awful.
That's awful. And I do feel bad for them. However, from an institutional standpoint, like, nuke it from orbit. It's the only way. Like, you have to send the message that we are going to take information security specifically, but also protection of people's private data. That has to be taken seriously. And I'm not saying like Equifax has to go under, but there has to be something that is just an absolute clear message that we literally cannot continue to conduct business like this.
I don't know how you could conduct business like this.
No.
And the thing is
it's insane.
There's companies that allow access to data third-party wise, and Equifax is just the one that's been caught. The thing is, I have absolutely no doubt that this happens with all companies. It's just Equifax managed to get caught. Like, they managed to get got. They had a copious amount of data that someone wanted.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Yep.
And they just didn't have the security the way that they should have. They didn't do the due diligence as they should have. And I work in my particular role is around kind of governing data. So this is incredibly important for me. Mm-hmm. And the idea that they didn't quite take it seriously enough on the IT side.
Yeah.
But then I have another side from a business perspective is they didn't have that governance set up from a business side of things. There should have been business people saying, hey, wait a minute. I've got to make sure that I have my ducks in a row from a business side governance, mm-hmm. protecting this data because it's our members' data. Because we're members of Equifax. That's the thing. We may not choose to do that, but we are. And they just didn't protect it that way. It's a complete failure on the entire company, from the business side and the IT side, in my opinion.
10,000%.
So, like, I'm not trying to say it's like, well, if they would have patched it in IT, those stupid IT guys. No. This is a totality of epic proportions for Equifax.
Well, we see this because of the company that we're at, but like IT in general, there's a lot of companies that are getting they're either getting it handed to them because of security, or they're finally realizing like we have to take security like deathly serious. It's no longer just core business, and then with that remaining little bit of wiggle room you have on the IT side, make it as secure as you reasonably can without impacting core business. No. You redefine the core business to take into account security principles. And when you have major, large, global, if not international companies that are starting to go, yeah, we're going to do that. I mean, that's a big deal.
Okay.
Hey, before we go on.
Yeah.
We're going to do just a quick 2-second break. We're going to toss back to our splash screen real quick because we need to fix the thing on our live stream. So we will be right back.
What do I got to do? Where am I going? Going back to
send it back to splash. Yep. And we'll be right back.
And I don't want to.
And we're back. Here we go. That was driving me nuts. I was going to let it go. Oh my God, it was driving me crazy. It doesn't bother me
at all. I don't care. You can pimp your name.
I don't need it to.
I was in a hurry.
It's not your fault. It's weirdness with OBS is the problem.
I feel like you judged me right there.
No, not at all.
I love how my photo over here just picked up. I was like, Anyway,
anybody who didn't notice, I got sick of the lower thirds just showing my one Twitter handle. So I figured
I actually thought it was kind of funny. Like it did get stuck, and I did notice it, but I was like, oh, he's not going to be here. It doesn't matter. I'll just keep saying, look at the lower third.
Yeah, but now I'm here, so now it's just ridiculous.
Oh, it sucks now. Let's go on to the world of freaky cool. Hey, they have an Alzheimer's drug.
Dude, I don't understand.
Helps regrow your teeth.
I mean,
your teeth.
So this, in my mind, is the same thing as like if you're eating. I don't know. You're eating. Who's the first person that dug up a potato out of the ground and said, "You know, I think we should eat this."
It's the same thing about a person who says, "You know what? I think I should drink this milk."
Look,
how do you like
from a cow?
From a cow, like you know what? I'm gonna squeeze this thing. I'm gonna squeeze that.
Yeah.
From a cow.
Yeah. And I'm
gonna drink it.
Yeah. So like that.
So first of all, how'd they know to squeeze it?
Oh well. Okay. So people.
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Oh my God.
Wow. That
was
Encino Man.
Field.
Encino Man.
Hard.
Encino Man came out in 1992.
This is another game we play a lot.
Quiz me. 1992. I'm gonna do
90s movies.
I think it's 92.
Trying to guess.
Okay, Google.
You just.
When did Encino Man, the movie, come out?
Wait for it. Oh, that's me.
Encino Man came out in the United States of America on May 22nd, 1992.
Bam!
You said 93.
No, I did not. Look at this. Look at the live stream. Encino Man came out in 1992. Bam! 92!
I swear you said.
No, I nailed it! 92. I loved that movie when I was a kid. I watched that movie on repeat. Repeat with my dad. I would sit with my dad, and I would just listen to it on repeat. God, is the juice worth the squeeze? Like,
you're a crazy person. Ugh.
The show has gone completely off the rails, and we're like 25 minutes in. It's great. I love it.
It's been one of those types of weeks. So yeah, I mean, how did they come to the idea?
I don't know how they figured that out, but what they ended up doing was this drug. They've been able to figure it out. I was at lunch today with a friend of mine, and he said, "Yeah, I read this." I was like, "Send me that because I want to talk about it on the live show." And then, in full disclosure, I only read like half the article.
Okay.
So
I've read none of the articles.
He's kind of told me about it. Basically, they put it like if you got a cavity, they put it on the tooth with the cavity, and in 6 weeks, it kind of helps. Now, it doesn't like grow like a big tooth or anything like that, but it helps regrow like the enamel around it. And I'm like, that is pretty BA. That's crazy. So and then I was at lunch. I was like, oh, they just make a mouth guard and you can just shove it in your whole mouth. And he's like, well, you don't want to like grow a mouthful of teeth like Conehead style. That is the second 90s movie. Second 90s movie reference.
Second one, man.
I don't think I could get that year right. I'm going to try, though. That
80,
came out...
88.
No way.
89?
No, it's not an 80s movie. It's a 90s movie. I'm going to say Coneheads came out in I'm not looking at your screen.
Yeah.
1994.
93.
Ah, that was close!
Wow.
That was an awful movie. But
It was a terrible movie.
my idol was in that movie. Can you name the idol?
Let's see here.
You're going to look at the name and you're going to go, yep, totally get it. Really loud, chubby guy. Played on Saturday Night Live. Are you serious right now? You're disrespecting him.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Chris Farley.
He wasn't on it, was he?
Yes, he was.
Oh, okay.
Chris Farley was the boyfriend of the girl Conehead.
Oh, okay.
Where they got in trouble for touching their hands with the weird...
Yeah. Dude, I haven't seen that movie in a minute. How do you remember that stuff?
I don't know, because I'm not a movie person, so if randomly...
That's the dumb thing.
If Justin's watching, which he's not, but if Justin were watching, he would be like, he's right. He's absolutely right.
Speaking of Justin...
Because he is the man on movies. Like, there is no one better. No one. Hands down.
That's interesting.
He can quote, like, the weirdest... He's like, he can give a very specific, like, 4 lines out of a movie. And I'll be like, what movie is that? And it'll be like some random crappy... like 1991 movie, and I don't know how he does it.
Like just 90s movies.
No, all movies.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't exactly have good taste in movies.
Well,
like, so case in point, I think it's, if you look it up on Google, it's like world's most overrated movie, Space Jam, I think it's called.
Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this.
He's watching.
He's not watching.
I hope he's watching.
I'm going to tell you right now. He will shiv you.
Okay.
We're seeing him tomorrow. I'm going to tell him. You're in trouble. I'm telling Dad.
Worse things have happened. I'm telling Dad.
I'm telling Dad. Anyway, so
that's so weird about the teeth thing now.
Regrow your teeth.
That. Yeah. I mean, cool, but
we also this also followed up with the. Can you believe that somebody allowed a robot to pull or do whatever to their teeth, and then we all went, oh,
yeah. Dude. Speaking of robots, I can't remember if it's today or it might be this next week. There is a giant robot fight set between the U.S. and Japan or South Korea. I gotta look this up. This is happening live. I just saw this.
I'm not following what you're saying, but I am following.
Giant robot fight. You need nothing. It's the USA versus Japan. They literally made like a giant mecha suit. Like a gigantic fighting robot, and they're going to fight them.
Well, I know, but is there going to be a person in the suit, a la like The Matrix?
I don't think that they're going to have people.
That's movie reference number 3.
That's not a '90s movie, though. Is it?
No, it's not a. Well,
the original was what, '99?
Oh, the original Matrix would have been
99 or 2000.
No, it would have been. I'm going to say 2000. I'm going to say 2000.
99.
Oh my God! I'm just 1 year off.
I got
so you got one, I got one, and we both were wrong on the other.
Yeah. So there's a.
That is going to be pretty BA.
That's
if you go to The Verge, you can look on The Verge right now. So the folks that are, it's selfish. By the way, I haven't updated a podcast in a long time.
Oh, you're the worst. The worst. All right, 4 days away. It's next week on Tuesday, October 17th, 7 p.m. They will stream it on Twitch. I am absolutely watching that.
So for free. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, probably. I guess. Okay. I don't know for sure. But yeah, they're going to. They're fighting 16 foot tall. One robot is 16 feet tall. The other one is 13 feet tall.
So not short.
Not short, and multiple tons.
Right. Are they going to walk or are they going to roll? Are they like rock?
Well, so one of them, the American one, has tank treads, and I think the Japanese one has wheels, but it's more or less legs.
Risky. They look like Baymax.
They also have chainsaws, like giant industrial chainsaws on them.
This is going to be interesting.
It's going to be insane.
There's not going to be any quick movements. It's going to be one of those situations where it's almost like you have to say, "It looks like you're going this way, so I'm going to chop down." But they're not going to be there. You know what I mean? Like, you have to
possibly imagine that there would be people in there, but I know that the one robot is at least designed to be able to have somebody in there. So I would imagine it's probably going to be like remote, and they're just going to.
It's 8:01.
Oh, doing it?
It's 8:01. I think It is over. It is over. The SNES Classic is over. It is over. We had 5,968 entries. That sounds a lot, but there's not each one was worth one.
Right.
We gave a lot of extra points if you subscribed and all that other jazz. So I'm going here to pick a winner.
The winner.
Winner. I have to say there's 3 invalid actions. I got to review the invalid actions first. I don't know what that is.
I don't even know what that crap means.
What says what makes it invalid? Duplicate entry. Can't do that.
Shame.
Delete. Can't do that.
So you can't even do the giveaway or the drawing until you fix that. Whatever.
I'm gonna do a bulk action. Bulk action.
Delete all.
Delete. Yep. Because it's the same
delete
one.
all entries.
No, it's not delete all entries.
Don't do that. Don't delete everybody's entries.
Stop
Why
that.
would you do that? It's so rude. So rude.
I'm
I'm really excited. I hope whoever gets the Super Nintendo Classic is like.
Yeah, because actually I was awake until like midnight one night getting this for everybody.
Yeah. You were.
I've been working hard.
Yeah.
She worked hard for the money.
Will you just draw a freaking name?
Shut
I
up.
hate you so much.
Draw the winner.
Who is it?
Winner. What? Okay, I'm drawing right now. Drawing.
This is the most
1%, 99.
anticlimactic
I know, right? It's
drawing ever. See who it is.
Drawing.
This time,
it says drawing.
Don't blow up this person. Ooh.
Tel Aviv.
What?
Tel Aviv. No. It is in U.S. only. It is, I believe it says write in the code, write in the rules. It says, hold on.
Wait a minute
now. Talk about something while I'm doing something.
Okay, fine. I'll carry the show while Scott is doing something
I'm
else.
doing stuff.
You want me to hold off on the AR one?
Yeah, we can kind of get into that. That's a fairly deep.
Or do you want to touch on Google Home Mini?
Oh, a lot of Russia in here. A lot of Russia.
Oh,
I specifically said in the rules. Yes, contest is for folks in United States, United Kingdom, and Canada. United States.
So that means there's like 3 valid entries. So, boy, if you entered into this, your odds of winning went up substantially. Let's talk about. I
have to revoke the win.
Wow,
That's
unfortunate.
That's not the rule. The rule said United States, Canada, and United Kingdom.
Okay, so we're doing
it again.
Yeah.
I follow my own rules. Amanda Whitley.
You won.
From Hyannis, Massachusetts.
I don't even know
Amanda Whitley, congratulations. Entry number 4,984. Amanda Whitley, you are the winner of the Super NES Classic. I will reach out to you. Looks like the action that you visit us on our Facebook page. I will reach out to you at your email address that you provided. I am not dumb enough to read that on air.
Aw.
I won't do that for you. And we will try to figure out how we can get it mailed to you. Congratulations, Amanda Whitley.
That's awesome, man.
Yay! Hopefully I said that right. Otherwise, if I'm butchering your name, I'm sorry.
Or the name of the city that you're from, because...
Did you look it up?
Oh, absolutely.
It's Massachusetts.
It is.
It's on the side.
It's there.
It's by the ocean.
Yes. Not that that's hard to do in Massachusetts.
It's like where the tail.
Yeah.
Hyannis.
Hyannis. Anyway.
Speaking of that.
Speaking of hyenas.
Program.
What you did there.
So Google is...
Are you going to
go
do that one? Yeah, let's do that one.
Okay. Google is programming a software. Technical.
Yeah.
Google's
software. Just one.
Just
single
software. Google's programming their learning software to teach itself to program. So prepare Uranus for the robot overlords.
It's happening.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
It's also coming. So their project, I think it's what, AutoML, which probably stands for Auto Machine Learning.
It does.
So in artificial intelligence, we're going to give a little bit of AI lesson here.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because I know that you know more than me about AI. Artificial intelligence as a whole is a great big bubble. I saw this today, right? Great big bubble. Inside of it is two types. There's probably more, but two types that people are working with right now. Mm-hmm. The next bubble, which is a little bit smaller, but still inside the artificial intelligence, is machine learning. Okay? So there's machine learning, and then inside of that is deep learning. Okay?
Yeah, that's fair.
Basically.
I mean,
so machine learning...
I wouldn't call it the next because it's
already inside
here,
of itself.
But
like,
it's
so
definitely...
Both.
Oh, I see what you... Not the next, like, this is the thing that's coming.
No. It's inside of itself.
Now. Yeah, I got you now.
So the smallest bubble, which is inside the artificial, is deep learning.
Yeah.
And then the deep learning, just the single, just one deep learning. Inside of that is machine learning, right?
Yeah.
That way. And then artificial intelligence, kind of those two overall.
It's like an onion.
Right. You just keep the peeling at the back. AutoML, which is auto machine learning. I don't know why they just don't call it. I haven't read like the entire details of AutoML, but that's very much deep learning. So the difference between machine learning and deep learning, machine learning is you, the human, are programming it and giving it the data that it needs to use. I give it a pile of data and it works through that. And I give it rules and parameters based on that data. Whereas with deep learning, I just give it data and say, go. Well, I don't tell it to do anything else.
With all of this, like anytime you're dealing with machine learning, deep learning, all this stuff, and God forbid we should happen to have actual artificial intelligence researchers in the audience, that would, I'm sure, blow me up too.
Well, I'm going to tell you, there's one guy at work that's going to probably blow me up on Monday, but that's all right.
Oh, yeah?
That's okay. Like, I'm trying to learn. Like, my desire is definitely AI, and I know that I'm not good, but I'm getting there.
So the thing with most machine learning, deep learning things is it comes down to you're building almost like a statistical model of what it looks like to be right. So if you say, for example, I need to classify all these images as a dog, and you feed in 1 billion examples of pictures, and then you slowly but surely work this model of what it, like the heuristics of what a dog is, right? So that the image classification algorithm basically figures out what a dog is by the nature of figuring out almost what things are not dog and what things are
dog.
More or less dog. Yeah. So you're building a model. So the magic of AutoML, or I guess the complexity with machine learning and stuff like that is, for the most part, models are manually tweaked. Like you're as a data scientist or as an artificial intelligence researcher, you're going in and making updates and changes to the models, and some of those changes that come out of the neural network end up getting fed back in through back propagation to also make those relationships stronger, blah, blah, blah. That's a really niche, really super specialized skill set to know how to tweak a model like that. So what Google's really done is they've made artificial intelligence that is smart enough to basically tweak its own model.
They're making artificial intelligence smarter than what people have now.
In some cases,
because they want to continue to go at a fairly aggressive pace, but there's just not enough. There's a resource problem, and the resource is a people problem.
Yeah,
it is a people problem. So they're just like, you know what? Forget this. I'm just going to make it learn like a human would.
See,
and now we're getting into the... We're getting close.
This is the hockey stick we're starting to see with technological progress. Because in the past, technology could only develop as fast as you had not only demand for it, but also the people to develop the technology. You know what I mean? Think of how long certain technologies stayed locked up in labs forever just because there weren't enough bodies, let alone money, to be able to productize whatever thing they were working on in the lab. And now, because of computational complexity, we're able to take something like machine learning and say, like, okay, there's not enough people that know machine learning, so let's build software that will do it for us.
We're getting to the
it's
point
crazy,
where we
man.
have to start to put in, is there boundaries? Is there legal boundaries that we have to have in order to protect ourselves? We have to protect us from us.
Well, we can't. The problem is we can't protect us from us as it is now.
That's the issue.
I mean, we just got done talking about Experian or whatever.
So Google is taking very much an AI first approach, which
Makes
I
sense.
like, and I completely understand. They are making lives easier because actually this week my video is going to be about the Google Assistant and some of I think my top 5-ish things that I really like about the Google Assistant. There's some things that folks are just simply not using their assistant for.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to give kind of my tips and tricks on what you should be using your assistant for. It's much more functional than you even imagine. Part of that is because I think Google does a poor job of putting it in one place. Like I can go to my Google settings on my phone, or I can go to my Google Home app and do the same thing in some instances, and I can do some stuff in one, but I can't in the other.
Yeah.
But they both work with Assistant. So it's not as intuitive as it really should be.
Yeah.
It's not like an app like this is the whole totality of the Google Assistant app. There's not that.
See, this is
because
where...
there's stuff that Google Home does that still the Google Assistant on your phone can do, but you program it in Google Home's app.
I'm hoping that at some point in time Google can get to the point, like if they're researching how do you do deep learning, like how do you have software build itself to do deep learning type of activities, I'm hoping that will eventually make its way full circle back to software writing itself, right? So you have, I don't know, some suite of software that goes out and says, okay, we've got this thing called Assistant, and we want to make a uniform like application method of interacting with it that works across browser, Pixelbook, tablets, phones, all of that, and just have your deep learning AI software say, okay, here's the things that make integration and successful applications work. Let's just do the thing and then add in a splash of whatever it is that Google wants. Like, I want you to make something that controls Assistant. Okay, cool. Grab all of these features that make a successful app in something that is well integrated. Oh my God, please do the integration thing. And then it just does whatever you need it to do. I mean, that is like 50,000 foot over.
They're getting much better with integrations, though.
They are. I do have to give them
a lot
credit
of
for that.
things that I can do right now with the Assistant that I wasn't able to do even 6 months ago, even 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
There's some things that I can do with the Assistant. There's some things that you've been able to do with the Assistant for a long time that people aren't using it for because they just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know you can tell your phone to take a selfie?
Yeah, I knew that one.
Yeah. Most people, for whatever reason, have no idea.
I think
I don't know why.
A lot of it comes down to... So initially there were so few features that voice control or artificial intelligence actually worked for that it was kind of easy to figure those things out, and then you went, okay, well, it doesn't really work. And I think we're starting to get into the realm where there's so many different things you can do on your phone with artificial intelligence that a lot of it's going to get left behind or not known about, just because, like, at this point, how do you know what does and does not work? What is and is not integrated with Assistant?
That's the big thing, is the idea that you have to look for people like us. It's a shameless plug, really.
Nerds.
You have to look for people like us to basically say, hey, this is 5 really cool things that you can do with your Assistant right now. Like, I can say, I can't remember what the shortcut is, but I'm pretty sure that I can, not only pretty sure, I know I can. If I give a certain shortcut command to my phone right now, it will fire up Lionel Richie radio.
That's hilarious.
Right now.
It'd be hilarious if you had it some lyric to one of his songs.
Hang on.
Like, hey, keyword, you are so beautiful to me.
I asked what traffic looked. Here we go. So I won't say the keyword. I'm holding it just so you know. It's that time again.
Sure, check out this Lionel Richie radio mix on Google Play Music.
So I'm going to take that. That will be something. Now, I programmed that inside the app. I don't want to get... no. I want to listen to it because I love Lionel Richie, but I don't want the copyright infringement.
Yeah.
That is the only reason.
Yeah.
And we totally
Otherwise,
have
our
gotten...
show would totally be...
Yeah, by the way, we've totally gotten a copyright infringement because of this before.
Yeah. It is definitely not our first one.
Not our first
this
one.
channel.
Yeah,
but
another channel we have gotten a copyright infringement.
Whoopsie.
Yeah.
So,
anyway,
speaking of assistant,
the little one.
Yeah.
The Google Home Mini getting permanently disabled from the touch at the top.
So, the Google Home Mini was announced during Google's last product announcement. I don't remember what day it was. I feel like that day should probably stick out of my mind for as marginally important as it is. October, I don't know, something.
It was my birthday! That's going to blow the audio
So
out,
it probably is. And my eardrums. Thanks for that.
You're
so
welcome.
they had just announced the Google Home Mini, which is a $50 Google Home, teeny tiny little thing. It's a little hockey puck looking
It's actually
device.
as big as a donut.
Okay, that's super relative. There's a ton of different sized donuts.
No, it's think of a glazed donut, you idiot.
Yeah, there's different sized glazed donuts.
You idiot. It's just a glazed... Most people will be like, okay, I know relatively about what the size
I know
is. Like,
about what
go
the
like,
size
hey,
is.
you know what the size of a regular glazed donut is? In your head, you can probably go like, okay, yeah, sure. I'm not talking about a Long John. Look at this Long John Google Home. Looks like a freaking glazed donut. As a matter of fact,
are you
they
done?
have these pop-up shops called donut shops where people get free Google Minis. Google Home Minis. I'm done.
You're done now.
I'm done.
Are you sure? I mean, I don't
Oh,
want to...
let me finish.
Can I finish, buddy? Can I finish?
Go ahead.
So Google Home Mini just announced, not even a month ago at this point. Like, we're still, 2 weeks out from when the initial announcement was. And Scott and I, caught a very interesting tweet that went out by Artem over at Android Police saying that he had discovered a pretty severe potential security problem. He'd reached out to Google. Come to find out, what was happening is, I don't know that Artem was necessarily the first to discover it, but the Google Home Mini was apparently randomly recording at different intervals.
24 hours.
Well, yeah,
Basically.
just recording ambient sound, so it would pick up conversations and all that kind of stuff. Now, there's no indication at all that this is malicious. There's no indication that Google was doing this to try and farm for data or anything like that. From all appearance, it looks like this was just a problem with how the touch interface on the top works. So the Google Home Mini is unique in that there's no button on the top per se. There is a touchpad or a touch sensor that works through this special cloth that they spent some ridiculous number of hours and dollars designing.
How's that working out for him?
That's what made me laugh about it, is because they specifically called out that cloth that they had worked so hard and gone through so many drafts to get it just right. Yeah. And so my assumption is the cloth had to be conductive, because if you're going to touch the Google Home Mini, it has to conduct your touch through to the device itself, to this touch sensor.
I think that was the problem.
And I think it is too. I think that cloth is too conductive, if you will, and is accidentally setting off. Google Home Mini actually thinks that somebody has their finger on it or something along those lines.
All the time. It was it was picking up the way that I read it. It was the back end programming that was picking up on the sensitivity of the touch was programmed in such a way that it just felt like it was constantly doing it.
Yep.
And so rather than them dealing with it, because I don't think it was just one.
No, I don't think it was just one, and I don't think that it's just a purely software problem, because the solution is that they are completely disabling touch, period.
Forever. On
this device. Yeah. That is a big move.
I applaud the move. They didn't mess around. It was... Okay, so that came out on October 4th.
Yeah.
It's the 13th. That's 9 days. And
this was announced on the 11th.
Right. And so basically within 7 days, and there was 2 weekend days, it was such a big deal. If you go read the Android Police article, it was such a big deal that a developer from Google that weekend, that night, October 4th night, drove to Artem's house and picked it up.
Wow.
The article goes in to say they came and got it that night, gave him 2 Google Home Minis for his trouble.
Yeah.
And then said, we'll get back to you.
Wow.
Yeah, if you go read the article, it says it. It was a big deal. As a matter of fact, it was such a big deal. When he emailed Friday night.
Yeah.
It was Friday night at 5:32. At 5:34, he had a response. By 8 p.m., the developer was at his house. It was...
That's...
They did not mess around.
Yeah.
So he actually goes and applauds them. And there's some other websites out there. I don't know what they are, but they're talking about like, oh, it's malicious intent and they're trying to farm your data.
I don't
think it was malicious intent.
Yeah.
I do think that they screwed up, and it's fine. They just messed up.
Yeah,
Mistakes happen, but they rectified the mistake and they didn't mess around. Wrecked them. They didn't mess around, and they basically said, you know what? They're not even available to the general public yet, but they're effectively completely touch resistant.
Yeah. Completely disabled.
Like, I haven't even got one yet.
Yeah, the one thing that I do have to hold against Google is, how is that not a thing that was discovered during testing?
I don't know. Maybe somebody thought it was just a once.
Maybe.
You would think that in QA that would...
Oh, absolutely. I mean, because Google's no stranger to hardware or problems, so you know that this went through some pretty... Well, assume that it went through some pretty rigorous
you would have
hardware
to
testing.
assume.
It has to, yeah.
I can't think why it would have been missed, but maybe they thought that they fixed it. Maybe they thought they could program their way out of it. I don't know. I mean, it's not...
I would not want to be on that team when somebody's like, hey, this is a problem. What's up?
I don't think you could make any more brighter of a P0 than that. Is there a P000? Because I think you would have found it.
That would have probably been it. Yeah. That's
you don't get any bigger than that. But I thought that they handled the situation much better than like places like Equifax would have.
Yeah.
Because Equifax would have screwed that up.
Yeah.
They would probably still be listening.
Let's be real, they probably are. So yeah, that kind of sucks for the Google Home Mini. That was a neat feature. I'm legit wondering what the lifespan of the Google Home Mini is now.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of that issue.
Yeah.
See, I was never going to use the touch feature at all, ever.
You use the touch feature on yours now.
There's no touch feature on mine right now.
On your Google Home that you have upstairs.
Yeah, I don't touch it to actually enact it.
You don't often do it.
No, I don't touch it to enact the question. I actually use the keyword.
That's what I'm saying. You don't touch it often, but I know that you have. I've been here when you have done it.
Well, to turn the volume up.
Sure.
Yeah. What's your point?
My point is like
I wouldn't use the Google Home like the way that he was using it to touch it to tell it to do something.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either.
That's what I mean. Like I wouldn't enact it that way.
But there's also touch controls that do other things other than just activate.
Agreed.
That's what I'm saying. Like
that's what you're saying.
Limiting other features. Like who cares about the fact that you don't have touch to activate assistant? It's disabling all touch controls. That's okay. I will agree with. For me personally, I would call that like a complete game changer because I would just like I'm going to have a Google Home Mini in this studio. Yeah.
I promise you it will be somewhere in this studio once I actually get a chance to get one. I will have them throughout my house. I have 2 Google Homes right now. I know that I get at least one for free because I bought the Pixel 2. So that's coming 4 weeks-ish after I buy my or after I get my Pixel 2, which, by the way, it's November 1st or 2nd when it gets here.
That's not bad.
I'm pretty pumped about it.
I thought it was going to be a little bit longer.
I want time to get here, but I also don't because I don't want to go into the holiday season. Because we're right there.
We are, like, on the cusp.
Right
By
there.
the way, you go through stores, at least here in the States, for our international friends, you go through the stores, there's already Christmas decorations up.
Really?
And they've been up for a minute, too. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
I hate you with the passion of 1,000 burning suns.
And something my belly and man good cheer.
Get off of me, you creep. I hate you so much. I like Christmas, but it starts way too early, man. By the time Christmas actually comes, I'm so over Christmas.
Really?
Ugh, God, I'm so
I love
over
Christmas. It's my favorite holiday. By far my favorite holiday.
I like it. Look,
I love snow. I love cold.
Yeah, I love snow too.
I love the cold.
I don't love the cold.
You're an idiot.
I want it to be 80 degrees and then still be snowy.
No,
I love snow.
What?
Yeah.
Do you hear yourself right now?
Oh, y'all do.
I almost said something really bad. We'll take that offline. Really bad. Michael, you know that I'm going to be bringing that Pixel 2 to Summit. I 1,000%, as long as it arrives,
Yeah.
which it should be. I don't know why it wouldn't, but yeah, I'm like...
Does a bear S in the woods? Yeah, it's going to the
yeah,
summit.
it's coming to the summit with me.
For sure.
I have to figure out how I'm going to program it with the Osmo Mobile because there's no headphone jack. I don't care.
You can always get a dongle, Scott.
I don't care, but the problem that I have is if I really want to use a nice high-end external mic, and if you watched my video a couple weeks ago, I have a really nice one that's that
Random plug.
lavalier mic, and I really like the sound of the lavalier mic. Can't use it because the way the dongle thingy works, and the Osmo Mobile, and the technologies,
and the internet's with the thing and the stuff.
Oh, everything on the internets is true. I got them super quick internets. Talk to my IT person. Mayor.
That. It's a great one. Where's the mayor at?
Where is the mayor?
The mayor. So since we're talking about phones, new iPhone X.
Yeah, what about it?
Apparently, it's still having some problems.
Shocker.
Weird. So there was a couple of screenshots that came out over the last week in one particular article put out by, let's see, the one that you have linked in here is from BGR. So short version is somebody took a shot of somebody looking at their iPhone X with an application on it, and what they noticed was the application was not full screen.
Well, now you don't say.
So this is equal parts like a big story and it's not a big deal at all.
Yeah,
I get the reasons why, and I get the reasons why it hasn't been fixed yet.
Sorry, I got some in my eye. I'm just digging out over here.
Clearly. So why is this happening? So the iPhone X or the iPhone 10, it's the iPhone X.
It's the iPhone 10.
It's the iPhone X. So the iPhone X is unique in that it changes the screen.
Christmas
I know you will. Mm-hmm. The screen itself is formatted differently than traditional phones. So traditional phones have a different resolution, a different what we would call aspect ratio. So the ratio of the length and the height of the width and the height of the screen. When you talk about TVs, you see 16 by 9, right? So for every 16 pixels across, you go 9 up. Yes, I'm measuring. So when you talk about TVs like 1080p, that's a 16 by 9 screen ratio, right? iPhone X is one of the first phones to come out with a 16 by 9 screen. It's a 1080p screen. That's a big deal. That's really cool. That means your content doesn't necessarily have to be reformatted to fit natively on that size of a screen. Where it's a problem is with the applications. Applications are not designed for a 16 by 9 screen. What? What?
When it was like the aspect ratio and this thing, I can't think of the movie Tommy Boy where he's like, look at the girder and the rotary thing. I'm an idiot.
Inline rotary girder.
That's
the greatest line.
What's the phone number? It's a 329er. Did I catch a niner in there? You talking from a walkie-talkie?
Oh yeah, that's a great movie.
I'm totally just...
You're way off on left field. I love that Tommy Boy and what's the other one? Tommy Boy and
Black Sheep
are basically the same movie.
They are the exact same movie, basically.
I have a Callahan Auto Parts shirt, by the way.
Do you?
Yes, I do. I love that one. It says Ohio.
Bees in the car! Bees everywhere! They're huge and they're sting crazy! Oh. Save yourself!
Yeah, so iPhone X application's not showing up in full screen. It's not a big deal. People are going to try and make it a big deal. It's not that big of a deal. Developers are going to update their applications to make use of a full 16 by 9 screen at 1080p. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But I understand why people think that this is a big deal. It's going to be a big deal if the iPhone X doesn't capture enough market share to where developers think that it's worth their time to update their applications to scale resolution accordingly. If that doesn't happen, that's a problem.
I think they will.
I think they will.
I think Apple's basically like, no, I'm all in on this.
Yeah.
It may not catch on quickly like they want, but it's going to catch on because they're going to force it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the headphone.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with future versions of the iPhone because I don't remember if the iPhone 8 is a 16 by 9 picture. Is the iPhone 8 1080p?
I think so. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I'm going off of a really faulty memory at this point. But anyway, so if...
And your brain is like...
Whoo! It's full. So if future phones coming out of Apple's workshop all come out with 16 by 9 aspect ratio, all 1080p or better, then yeah, like this is just going to be it's like when you download the latest version of Android and you find out that your favorite app doesn't work because it hasn't been updated for Android or it hasn't been updated for Oreo or what have you. You know what I mean? Like that is not
I can't tell you how many times I ran into that.
Yeah, and that's the level of thing that we're talking about. Like it's such a non-issue,
but it is an issue, but not. It's an issue, but to the majority, it's like a. But to to the few that are like, this drives me crazy, it's an issue.
It's
to
a
them.
bigger, it's a bigger deal for Android users when your applications aren't updated to work on the newest version of Android. That is a bigger deal than the phone that's not out yet, the subset of users who will actually have an iPhone X, and then the handful of applications that may or may not be set up for dynamic resolution scaling.
So, but the thing is,
that's a subset of a subset of a subset of a subset.
The app will probably still work. It just won't take up the full screen.
Yeah.
So the developer's still going to have a fully.
Who cares?
The developer's going to have a fully functional app. They're just going to get kind of pinged to be on the App Store to basically say like, "This is a 3-star app." 8+ is a 1080. 8 isn't. Thank you, Pat.
There you go. So
that's why we have the greatest listeners on the planet.
I know. Enable
Thank
my
God.
laziness. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, but yeah, I mean that just tells you like as you have future phones that come out, as they embrace more and more a 16:9 picture, this is going to be a problem that is just never going to matter at all. But if the iPhone X and the iPhone 8 Plus are one-offs and they step away from doing 16:9 aspect ratio after this, I would look. If I'm a developer, who cares? I wouldn't do it.
So
I guess it depends on how much effort you have to put into updating your app, but still.
So I don't know what. So I'm reading a book. This is, I think it's Star.
I'm so proud of you.
Well,
Green Eggs and Ham.
It's an audio-book.
Oh. So when you say
I'm reading a book,
when you say you're reading a book, what you mean is I'm listening to some schmuck tell me.
It's not
about.
a schmuck. He is a wonderful author.
It's the colloquialized version of schmuck. I'm not calling him directly a schmuck.
It's Start With
like
Why.
What I would say.
The book is called Start With Why.
Oh yeah, I know the book.
By Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
And he talks a lot about Apple, and I know that I have been called a fanboy of Apple,
which is hilarious to me.
I don't get it. I'm trying to give Apple props because I'm trying to play fair.
Yeah.
I am a Google fanboy. Zero doubt with that, and I wear that as a badge of honor right on my chest.
You see the totality of Apple products that either one of us own, you see right here.
This is all we have.
That's
the only reason is because there's two reasons. It's this channel, and I hate Adobe.
Oh yeah.
And so that's the only reason. I wanted Final Cut Pro.
Yep.
And I got a Final Cut Pro because I got a MacBook. Now, I have started to use MacBook more at work, and I love it because I just like it. And I figured it out because Simon talks about it in his book. Something called the Golden Circle. I'm going to drop a little knowledge on you.
Okay.
There are a few companies. Southwest Airlines is one. Apple's one.
Oh, boy. I can't wait for this conversation to happen.
Yes.
Let's do this.
There's 3 things that they work on. Most companies have this. They have 3 things they're working on. I'm going to butcher this to death. I am, for whatever reason, Simon, if you're watching, because I'm sure that you totally are.
Absolutely. Tweet at him.
I will tweet at you, Simon, that I mentioned you on the show.
Name dropping you. You should check out our show.
He's not going to, but it's okay. The Golden Circle.
Yeah.
Think of it as a bullseye.
Okay.
Okay. In the middle.
Yep.
The bullseye itself is why.
Okay.
Outside of that is how.
Okay.
Outside of that is what. What a company does, how a company does it, and why the company does it.
Okay, I got you.
Most of the time, companies go, this is what I do, this is how I do it, and this is why I do it. Making more money is not a why. That's not why.
Okay.
And he uses an Apple, an Apple computer ad as a really good example as to why Apple is an innovative company.
Yeah.
Because the way that they start with their why. So they're basically the premise of this whole book is to start with your why. Why do you do something? Tell the people out there why you do it. Don't tell them what you do. Don't tell them what you do. Don't tell you how them do it. That stuff's important. You can get to it. The first thing that you should be telling somebody is why you do it. So why do we do our YouTube channel?
It's fun.
It's fun. It's great for us. It has been something that's been really wonderful for us, even in our professional lives.
Yeah.
It has helped us professionally, as well as we have a good time. Every Friday, the two of us ham it up. More often than not, we still like each other. We're still making it through December. More often than not, we have that. But also, we really enjoy having these interactions with folks.
Yeah.
Met a lot of great people, had a lot of great conversations. So why do we do it? We're offering a service. Like, we actually do reviews, do things to help others. Why do I exist? To make a difference in someone's life every single day. That is my goal in life. That's what I do. That is why do I do it? Because I enjoy making a difference in someone's life.
That's so sweet.
How I do it and what I do doesn't matter.
The
Southwest is
yeah. Please follow up with this point, because I'm going to hear what you have to say about this.
Southwest is they're in customer service industry. They just happen to fly airlines. They just happen to be an aviation company. Well, what their actual job is customer service,
and
they just happen to be in aviation.
They're not bad with that, I guess.
They're not bad with that. Actually, they're routinely really good.
Okay.
They are the highest profitable aviation company in history.
Yes.
That really hurt you to say that, didn't it?
It does, because you know that I know somebody who works for that company.
But you also know that I'm not wrong, but you have insider knowledge more than most. And I get that. But from what I know and what the majority of folks know, Southwest is really great at customer service. They're outstanding at it. They do take care of their passengers.
So perception is reality, right? So when you say that Southwest is the greatest at whatever, and they're the most profitable airline industry or aviation company in history, blah, blah, blah. Like, all of those things are basically clever illusions. Like, it's not wrong to say that on paper. However, you have to dig into the methodology of how they go about achieving that. And it's very much, it's a hustle. So
I'm not denying their hustle.
Yeah.
But perception is reality.
And that's the thing.
The perception is they are great at customer service. I've had outstanding customer service with Southwest. Outstanding customer service. I've also had some very sketchy customer service.
It's one or the other, too. Like, I don't feel like there's much
of
no middle ground. You either get awesome service or like
nothing.
What is this?
But I've also, in full disclosure, I've been on other airlines where I've gotten really great customer service and also really tragic.
Awful. Yeah.
No.
I've
had the opposite, like the awful customer service more often on the other airlines, and great customer service with Southwest more often.
Yeah.
Think 80-20 on both ends. 80-20 over here on like the Uniteds and the Americans of just trash customer service.
Yeah.
And 80-20 over here with great customer service with Southwest.
Yeah, I can see that.
So Southwest is that way. Then you have Apple is that way. I think Google's going that direction. Why does Google exist? Well, first of all, Google's mission, or the thing that they say, is they want to bring all the information in the world into one spot. Okay? So that's the what.
Yeah.
But why? Because it's important for everybody to have access to that information. Everyone equally have access to that information. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. When I started school and when I started college,
you don't care that much.
No, not that much. I'm going to continue.
Yeah.
When I started college, I was still like actually physically typing papers or writing papers, right? Yeah. I still had to go to the library and do like look for the book. That doesn't.
I was like, what is this? What action is this? Now I get it.
You get it, right? Like I need a certain number, and you put it back in.
The card catalog.
Right, the card catalog. That still existed. That doesn't exist now. You have high school kids that are programming robots.
Yeah.
And high school. What?
I mean, all the stuff that I learned in college is basically
I couldn't spell
hilariously out of date by this point. Like, all the things that I learned in college are not
gone.
Well, the vast majority of them just don't apply to modern IT, like at all. Like there's a couple of concepts. It's like I mean, we still do this thing, but like there's the giant topic of networking, and we don't do the thing that I learned. But networking is still a big deal. It's just moved over to here now. So yeah, I mean, same thing.
Yeah. I don't know where we got on that topic. Oh, Simon.
Yeah.
So yeah. Apple is an innovative company
because
they start with why.
Okay.
Southwest starts with why. I'm customer service is important.
Sure.
Why? Because people matter.
Okay.
Okay. So that matters.
Google, look, I'll give
Google's
Google
going
the
the
benefit of
way.
doubt. That's fine. That lasts exactly as long as the do no evil mantra lasts. Because as soon as that much data gets...
It's over.
It's done.
Yeah.
Done.
Like, you'll
the
see
whole thing
no
is built
harder
up on
fall.
trust.
You'll see no harder fall from grace if that happens. Like, Equifax is... the Equifax might be one of the hardest falls from grace. I don't want to be
big ones.
I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, and that puts me right about that.
Yeah.
Equifax is not good. Enron was another big one. Like
I would argue that's probably larger in terms of like
Enron
impact that it's had.
Yeah,
on
Enron
that
ruined
Lehman
lives.
Brothers.
Yeah,
Lehman
I mean, we're
Brothers,
talking about people who had put money into retirement their whole career, 30 plus years. They had nothing.
Have you seen Smartest Guys in the Room?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great
documentary. I mean, nothing. These folks lost everything.
Yeah.
I would argue that that's a bigger deal from a trust perspective. But this is some of the things that we do when we put trust in a company. Now, I'll ask you this. Do you trust Apple? I'm going to just berate. I'm not bombard you with some companies at the time.
I mean, so Apple is actually growing on my trust list specifically because information security I talk about it a lot. I always freak out about security before pretty much anybody else does, and Apple has over time, especially in the wake of the San Bernardino shootings and stuff like that, Apple has demonstrated not only very competent, and Tim Cook came out in a very intelligent, methodical, technical way in favor of technologies like encryption and why it's so important and why it's such a bad idea to weaken encryption for any reason, even in the pursuit of law and justice. Based on those things, based on their support of strong encryption, based on their support of strong security for their end users, I'm actually becoming a bigger fan of Apple in that sense. Now, there's a truckload of things that we both hate about Apple.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No question. Yeah. I will say that listening to people like Simon explain why Apple's innovative and to hear that other side of it, why they create these... I get it now. We always talk about, Apple, it just works. Because
but they're a design company that happens to produce IT. In the same way that Southwest is a customer service company that happens to fly planes.
And the whole reason why is because way back in the day when it was still Apple Computer Inc. and you had the Woz and you had Steve Jobs, the Woz is the one that actually did the majority of the work. Steve was just really... Steve Jobs was a salesman.
Yeah.
He was a really good salesman.
Hell of a good salesman.
They got tired. The whole reason they got tired of people not having access to computers. Yeah. Because back in, 78, 79, IBM, places like that were spending thousands of dollars in roomfuls of equipment that a regular home consumer just couldn't have.
Well,
couldn't afford it.
It was the confluence between cost and availability, right? So it's what do you think about economics 101, right? Supply versus demand and all that stuff. So when cost comes down and consumer demand rises to meet that, that's the perfect intersection. And that's basically right where Apple beat a lot of other companies to the punchline by going, hey, this is a big deal. Let's try and get these out. And between Wozniak's brilliance as an engineer and then Steve Jobs' ability to sell everything.
Right. So they not only did they do that, they wanted to make a personal computer that everyone could use. They used a GUI interface. That was almost unheard of at the time, right? You almost had to be a programmer to do that. So they made it. I want to have a computer in every house, and I want to make it easy to use. They've never really gotten away from that. They've made very easy to use.
There's a difference. So Apple did well for itself in the early days. Then they kind of went through the dark years where they ousted Jobs, and they went through a bunch of awful, miserable, failed products until Jobs came back. The story behind Apple, though, the real message behind Apple, once they got into design, once they realized that design is important, the look matters. When they finally started to embrace design as kind of like, they had good engineering, they had good salesmanship, they could sell the product, they had great engineering, but once they got into design to make it look pretty and do a thing well and then sell it, that's
the why was really important, right? And then a good looking,
but I think the
functional
why changed at that point.
Did it though?
I think so, yeah.
To what? I think the
easy to use designer product instead of just, we want everyone to have a computer. Because if they wanted everyone to have a computer, it would be lowest common denominator, sell it as cheaply as possible, blah, 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 blah. It's not about that. It's a status symbol that just works, right? But it also has to look gorgeous. You can't point a single Mac product that doesn't have some element of high style to it.
Man, I don't know, that all-in-one
Mac Pro,
the all-in-one that, well, the trash can.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, that's the one that everyone's gonna. But it's.
What about the all-in-ones that were like pink and orange?
People love those things, man. I worked on those things a lot back in the day. People
I did not like that thing.
I didn't like them either, but think of what computers looked like at the time. You're talking about the beige box syndrome, where everybody had the giant clunky beige CRT monitor and the nondescript beige-looking tower that sat down beside it. Like, those are the things that Apple used to really stand out from all of the other competition, to say, like, yeah, you can get your beige box, but like, why do computers have to be boring? Why do they have to be ugly? Why do they have to be?
I agree that they really took off once they got to the whole, I'm going to embrace the designer aspect of things. But then I start to think about how, like, again, this comes from the book, how I could have gone to Creative.
Yeah.
And they, like, Creative has a 5 gigabyte MP3 player, right? And they say, here's a 5 gigabyte MP3 player, right? That was their message.
Yeah.
And I can sell it to you cheap.
Yeah.
But that message sucked.
Yeah.
But what Apple's message is like, hey, you need to walk around with 5,000 songs in your pocket constantly.
Yeah.
And we'll give you that access on iTunes, where you can get 5,000 songs like that.
iTunes didn't exist when...
I agree, but what I'm saying is, like, you don't want to carry... you want to carry thousands of songs in your pocket because you want to listen to your music when you choose to do that. Buy my product.
Yeah, but it's two sides of the same coin. You can't have an awesome product. The thing that Apple always nails is the user interface aspect. Like,
right, so it's a combination.
You can have the best looking product possible, but if you don't have the UI down, forget it. You're done.
So that's where the golden circle matters, right? The why, because you should have the ability to listen to any song that you want at any time, because that's your life. That's your why in the beginning. How I'm going to do that? I'm going to give you a great looking product that is stupidly simple to use. And here's what it is. Buy my iPod.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, damn, that actually worked. Because the iPod revolutionized the MP3, like,
without question.
Full up. Like, so I don't know if it, like, I can't say this, even though I want to. I'm not sure that the iPod, without the iPod, I don't know if MP3s would have taken off as fast as they did.
So I would say not only that, but iPods had absolutely an effect on smartphones.
Oh, yeah.
And it's definitely not outside of the realm to say that Apple revolutionized smartphones. Like, I don't think that we would... it's hard to say. Like, I don't think smartphones would be where they were without the iPhone, is the short of it. I don't think any of us would have an attachment to iPhones or an attachment to smartphones. We wouldn't have the same level of interconnectedness and the same, not technological dependency, but you know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't, like, we carry our phones with us at all times. Mm-hmm. You feel weird if you don't have your phone on you. So I don't think that would exist without the iPhone too.
And here's the best part is, I think Google has recognized this. This is me completely spitballing and making this up. I feel like Google has recognized this, and they're saying, Apple, I understand. You've gotten this. Yeah. I'm going to take this from an AI-first approach. I see what you've done. You've made it really super simple for folks to use their devices to do this, that, and the other. I want to take it a step further. I want the device to learn from them by them interacting with it, and I want to make that interaction very simple by just two very easy words, okay, then the buzzword, and then have context and understand what they mean when they say, how tall is this person and when were they born? Like being able to go 2 and 3 levels deep in context, that matters because Alexa can't do that.
Well, now you're seeing the difference in where the whys are.
Yes.
Like if you look at Apple versus Google versus Amazon, that's 3 very different whys.
Right.
And you've got Apple, which now is basically a design company that makes tech. You've got Google, which is now
A search company that...
No, I would disagree now.
No, what I'm saying is like that's how they function.
They're
They
an
were
artificial intelligence company that happens to
do search.
and then and they dabble in hardware on the side.
right. So they
That's
used to
my
be
opinion.
a search company that now is an AI company because
'cause
they
they're
have
going
all that search data.
Hard on AI.
Like you're
now.
talking about,
They're going hard.
They are going to change the world.
Yeah.
With AI.
Well, I mean, they're already. I mean, the things that they're doing now are
I'm so excited.
it's black magic. 10 years ago,
Right? I can't even like 10 years ago.
call it
10 years ago was the first iPhone.
Yeah.
Think about this. Like there are some folks that are like, "Oh my god, I had the first iPhone."
See, and that's the thing. I don't think there's enough appreciation for how far we've come in 10 years so that when you start making these claims like, look, I'm telling you, self-driving cars, artificial intelligence, deep learning, these things are going to radically change your way of life.
10 years.
There's no appreciation for
In
that.
10 years.
Exactly. Because in 10 years, people forget about how far we've come with mobile devices.
So 10 years ago,
bananas.
almost 10 years ago, like 10 years and 2 months, if you want to call it that, the first iPhone came out.
Yeah.
The first iPhone.
Oh, and there was no App Store. Apps were not a thing.
Go out there right now on YouTube. Oh yeah, on YouTube, you can find anyone that will do like this is a updated review on the iPhone 1. You go out there right now and you tell me how far we've come.
Yeah.
Because it's mind-blowing
Yeah.
how far we've come. It is absolutely astonishing. And I love it.
Yeah. Oh, I do too.
But the thing is like it was like this, and now, like you said, it's hockey
sticks,
stick.
man.
We're going almost vertical at this point.
Yeah.
There will be changes every single year from here on out until we reach...
Whatever.
I don't know when we're going to reach the morality question with AI. It's closer. It's sooner rather than later. I can tell you that much.
I mean, it's you know this. Artificial intelligence for me is one of the most fascinating and important questions because it has it has so many things that it impacts. So many things. I mean, there are a ton of deep philosophical questions that having a single artificial general intelligence, let alone something that you could have any proof whatsoever that was actually conscious, it just has.
It's funny because we both have a crazy interest in AI.
Yeah.
But for two totally very different reasons.
Yeah, I mean, you're interested in like the data aspect, right? Yeah, yeah, and I'm absolutely obsessed with the philosophy aspect. I mean, the artificial intelligence basically has the potential to almost be the new religion of the world. Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah. And people, I know there's going to be a ton of people, like people that we both know that are just going to be like,
it's just not true. Like I totally get it, but AI is going to change the world.
Yeah. Well,
it's already changing the world.
You want to talk about things that are also either in the process of changing the world or things that are making the world weird? Let's talk about augmented reality, virtual reality, things like that.
I can't get into augmented reality. I look at like the HoloLens.
Yeah.
Man, that is an awful picture of me. What am I?
You are that distracted that you are on Facebook right now.
Jesus,
you're
H.
hosting
What is
a
wrong
show,
with me?
Sir. You are actively hosting a show.
I
You're
look
playing on Facebook.
actively awful on this picture.
Put your phone down, technology addict.
Wait,
hang on a
second.
second.
Wait,
AR.
hang on a second. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Google. I just wanted to do that.
My phone stayed quiet. My phone doesn't like you. So
I don't get into AR.
You
I'm
don't
just
like
not
AR,
into
yeah.
AR. Like
you were an early adopter.
I was. I very much was an early adopter with Google Glass. I don't know if that really soured me on it or not. I have a feeling it probably, even if subconsciously, it probably did.
I think if anything, it probably relating this. So you have tried early AR.
I have.
I jumped into VR basically as soon as I could.
It's very cool.
I have an HTC Vive. You had Google Glass.
I did.
So from my experience with VR, I would say maybe not that it soured you, but at least it whet your appetite. It sated that I need to know what this new technology is all about, because you played with it and you went, okay. I mean, it's cool, but it needed to, it's the nail in search of a hammer. You need a use case for it. If you can sell me on why I have to have this, shout out to Apple, right?
Mm-hmm.
So start with the why. Why do I need to have this? Different story. And I thought that Google had a couple of interesting use cases for it. One of them was like being able to take great pictures pretty readily. Or videos, first person, point of view videos and stuff like that. The Google Maps app, like being able to have...
That was awesome.
That was really cool.
That was great.
But that's pretty much where use cases ended. I mean, from there on.
I was able to plug in... so was it on this side or this side? It was on this side.
Yeah.
I was able to plug in a headphone. Ironically enough, very similar texture thread cord from that earbud from Google Glass as the Pixel Buds. I'm almost certain. It's almost identical, the same thing.
Yeah, but I don't see... That's not the reason why you bought it. Like, that was just like, okay, that's a neat feature.
I wanted to be an early adopter of what I thought was going to really change, and it wasn't there. If you gave me the Google Assistant now, we're getting close. I'm really excited about the Pixel Buds.
Yeah.
One thing that I've never really had my Google Assistant do is read messages to me.
Yeah.
Because it's come across as very clunky to me. Like, I have to say the keywords, and then I say read my messages. But because I use Hangouts and Allo and text message, I can't, it doesn't do all of that. Because if you'll message me, it'll be on Allo. But if my wife messages me, it'll be on text message. But if I have my other homies will get me on Google Hangouts. So do I have to give it the keyword to say, read my Hangouts, read my Allo, read my text?
It's
I don't want
clunky.
that. It's too clunky.
Yeah.
And the Google Assistant's getting better. It's saying, okay, I'm reading your calendar, I'm reading your weather, I'm reading your traffic, I'm reading your messages, but it's not there yet. And so Google Glass was ahead of its time.
So in your opinion then, the reason that you're not into it, you're not sold on it, whatever, is it the form factor? Is it the feature set? Is it AR specific? Like, you're just like, I don't care about things being... Like, I don't care about having additional data overlaid over top of my vision.
I want the ability to have that if I want.
Yeah.
But I'm more interested on, like, if I'm looking at something, maybe not visually putting it in front of my face, but telling me audio-wise. Like, from an audio perspective, like, if I look at something, think about Google Lens.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about Google Lens.
Yeah.
Google Lens is nothing more than augmented reality. If you look at what they did at I.O., that's what it looks like.
Augmented reality and image recognition.
Right. If it looks like that, then that's essentially AR.
So you want...
But I want the ability to do that if I want. I don't want... Like, if the HoloLens for Microsoft, that's too much. That's way overload for me.
Well, the form factor of it, too, is way out of control.
I mean, it's that really big lens. Like, I get it.
I mean, no one's going to casually wear that.
Like, I would love it if you put it in this form factor, which I don't know if we're ever... Like, we're 10 years plus from that, I would bet.
Yeah.
If you give me glass form factor, then, absolutely sign me up. I'll even tell you this much. I would get an actual...
Implant?
An implant in my eye if I had, like, a la, like, Jarvis from Tony Stark and from Iron Man. I would do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think twice about it. Or the ability to, like, flip it down. Even if the glasses were a little thicker than this, I would wear thicker glasses to have that ability. But... I think that's part of it. Like, if Apple can nail that, if Apple can nail that, oh boy.
That's really kind of the last undiscovered country for Apple at this point is wearables. Like, they have the iWatch or whatever it's called.
And that took way off. I thought that thing was going to flop. Everyone wears a watch. Everyone wears a frigging iWatch.
But they got it right. Look at Android Wear.
It's a mess.
Same product.
It is a mess.
It's a watch that you wear. It is a mess.
Man,
it is not good.
A mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I look awful in this picture.
Oh my God! Will you host the show and quit worrying about crap that can wait until after the show? Can you focus?
That is so aggressive.
Focus.
So aggressive. Well, we're done. We're done.
Well, we were talking about AR.
I think AR's not there yet. I think from a...
Well, VR's not either.
Right, from a lens... Now, I think VR's closer than AR. Because in virtual reality, I look at that as a more... I want a complete escape. I am willing to go sit in a chair and look around and do something, or play Space Pirate Trainer and move around my room. I'm willing to do that. But I think VR is going to be that, like, man, look at this, like... The islands are beautiful.
If they figure out the image quality problems, like if you can give me a real 1080p image.
Oh man, like that's great. I think VR is much closer than AR.
So the reason we bring up VR and AR, at least the tie-in that we're going to have with this, is that there's a company out there called Magic Leap. Magic Leap has been in the business of augmented reality for a while. They have a bunch of interesting tech demos, but Magic Leap is, for lack of a better term, vaporware. It's the quintessential you're selling the sizzle, not the steak type of thing. Like, they're everywhere. Everyone's always talking about them. The people that have seen their demos say, oh my gosh, this is so cool. This is the next big thing. They have not released a product yet.
Nope.
And they've been around for a while.
Yep.
For a long while. You can look out on YouTube, just Google Magic Leap, literally those two words, MAGICLEAP.
Look at you spelling.
They've got I can spell. They've got some neat. The videos that you see make you go, okay, hang on. If this is just somebody doing CGI, who cares? The CGI is not that good. But if this is showing you actually what you would see,
right,
and it's being done in real time, and that's the actual image quality that you would see, suddenly you're like, okay, tell me more about that, because that's interesting.
Hold up a second, because if you can do that, that would be fantastic.
And the technology that it's not been leaked, but the technology that they're talking about, they have these like crazy technological sounding things that they like, holographic field something or not. Like the technology itself is just full of sci-fi, Star Trek sounding buzzwords. But they are now looking to raise as much as $1 billion in a new round of funding. Now, this is not the first time that they've gone around for funding. They have done several funding rounds where they've gotten a truckload of money.
And I don't get it. I do not understand. Like, they've got to be showing something that's amazing to these investors.
And that's the thing. That's the only thing that I can think of, is that behind closed doors, when they're showing off the product, the technology that they have is so compelling that people are like, yes, take my money.
I mean, it's
$1 billion.
It's not small companies that are doing it either. It's
Facebook has been involved. Google's been involved.
It's big companies going, you know what, I'm liking what I'm seeing, so I'm gonna throw you some cash. I'm gonna throw you a little bit of cash to see what else you can do. But they haven't done anything.
Well, so Bloomberg, last month, Bloomberg reported that Magic Leap is getting ready to begin shipments of a small device. That's all they'll say. So they want to ship a device that will cost upwards of $2,000 to a small group of users. That's the extent of the product that we know that is coming out of Magic Leap. Oh, and on top of that, they still want to raise $1 billion.
So should we try to pool our money together and get a $2,000 small device that we don't know what it does for the channel?
I mean, I feel like that would get hits, because everyone else would be like, no, for real, what is this thing?
No, I get it. Like, I would love to do that.
It would be interesting.
Let's pool our monies.
Somebody super chat us $2,000.
Oh, yeah, right. No way.
So yeah,
somebody snooper chat. Somebody super chat us $2, not $2,000.
So, short version is, I really do. I'm long-term bullish on AR and VR. I think that in the future, once they solve some basic problems like screen resolution, battery life, stuff like that, you're gonna see those technologies. So I have a video. I have a video on my other channel someplace that talks about why it's like 5 reasons why VR is gonna make it and 3D TV didn't. And I still stand by the majority of those things. I still think that VR long-term is going to be here. AR long-term is going to be here. It's not going to be the thing that you see today. It's going to be the product that the last generation of products inspired, and then maybe 2 or 3 products down the road from that before you have like the smartphone level of ubiquity. But it's coming. It's happening. It's all tied together, man. It's all VR, AR, AI, deep all of those things.
Once AI goes like
you're
this,
just circling the drain at this point.
Yeah, it's coming. All right, we got anything else?
That's all I got.
Okay.
You want to do? I think that was the last one.
That's it. We've been an hour and 36 minutes. No, I have to read more about it.
Okay.
Everybody at Ohio State gets an iPad Pro, but we'll talk more about that later.
That's all we know. Mostly.
It's kind of all we know.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can find him on Twitter
at Ominous Hominid, which happened to just go on the screen right there.
Boom! Look at that.
And then if you stall for long enough, you'll see your Twitter handle.
Look at that.
Hey.
Find me on the Twitters at
right
Scott Peachy. You can also find me on the Instagram at Scott Peachy06, which is probably going to show up. Not right now.
Yeah. There's our Facebook.
Hey, facebook.com/thetechspeaks.
It's a good thing we have this lower thirds down there because none of us have those things memorized.
No, sure don't. Instagram at not even the TechSpeak. It's at TechSpeak. Yeah. I don't use that Instagram. Full disclosure.
We don't even use that Instagram. There. Yeah.
Pictures.
And we
at
are
Scott Peachy06. We are technically speaking, and this is another live show.
Live show number 16.
I can't believe that.
That's crazy, man.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, we're out of here.
See you.